Welcome to your Sprinkle with Hope podcast. The purpose of our podcast is to spread hope, light, and love. It is important for us to be engaged in this work so we can help motivate, uplift, and inspire you. Whether it is listening to us or hearing one of our amazing guests, our hope is that what you hear encourages you, strengthens you, and helps you discover additional tools to create a better life for yourself. Share this with family and friends, leave us a review or rating, and know that each small action you take to spread this message is appreciated. Subscribe to our podcast or YouTube channel so you don't miss anything.
Welcome to the Sprinkled with Hope podcast.
This is Jason. And this is Shane.
And it's podcast time.
Welcome to your Sprinkle with Hope podcast and your host, Jason. And we are super excited today to have with us Dustin Rykert. We've been following him for a long time when he started playing football at BYU, which is Shane and I's favorite sport and favorite college to follow. So we're super happy to have you on with us, Dustin.
Happy to be here. Yeah, like I said, we've been talking and chatting about, making this happen for a couple of weeks now. So I'm very grateful that we're able to make some time and jump on.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate your time. So Dustin, maybe you can kind of introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what it is you'd like to bring out and discuss with our guests and with our audience and have them kind of gain some insights from what it is that you've gone through.
Yeah. I mean, my upbringing, I'm from Roseville, California in Northern California, and grew up there playing, I was a three sport athlete until high school. And then I kind of focused on football and basketball. Really just, understood that, I had the size and the abilities to go play college ball, and, really, stuck with basketball to kind of help with my footwork and agility and stuff like that, but knew I wasn't going to be, really take that to the next level. It was just kind of a utility player, got in there, got some rebounds, made a couple fouls on their big guy and riled up the crowd a little bit. But it was, something that I saw and was able to kind of set my sights on at a young age. And when I was 16, I went, me and the boys, we're going to go up in the mountains and have some fun. And that day made some, the beginning of some bad decisions, and grabbed some beer and headed up in the mountains, and ended up slipping on a waterfall and falling 80 feet and broke my back. Ooh. And had 3 compression fractures, a concussion. I still got a pretty cool scar right there that, reminds me of that day. And, that was kind of oh, wow, I'm not immortal.
Yeah.
So it was a long summer. It happened in June, and by the grace of the Lord and a lot of physical therapy and massage therapy and things like that, I was able to play football that year. And, it was going into my junior year. So, it was kind of my pivotal year where I was going to start recognized by colleges and get scouted. And I had a pretty good year, even though my school wasn't very big and we didn't win very many games. But, I kept working. And then the year after that, I found out I had type 1 diabetes. And,
wow.
They said it could have been a myriad of different things. I had, tonsillitis 3-4 times in that 1 year span, and then they said that could have broke down my immune system, or the shock of the fall, and your immune system kind of kicks back in and sometimes attacks your pancreas, and which would result in the diabetes. So that was another hurdle, and going into my senior year, and it was after my junior year, and it was okay. Now how do we overcome this? And figured it out, and still got recruited, was committed to go to Cal Berkeley when, our athletic director, Tom Homo, was the head coach there, and ended up making a change and coming to BYU, and was very blessed to be BYU at the time I was, and I had great mentors and coaches there. And, just went down that, that athletic, I guess, rabbit hole of, the pain, the partying, and great, I hope I don't crush any dreams of people at BYU that think it's all, unicorns and butterflies down there, but there was some trouble to get into, and I found it. And, I struggled, with my mental health and with the balance, went through some personal things and some relationships and things, going into my senior year, and, was projected to be a really high draft pick, and was excited about my NFL career and taking things to the next level. And, again, just had hurdles and things that came up and ended up getting, dropping in the draft. And, there's, I think back, there was like going into the combine, 2 days before the combine, I get rear-ended in Denver as I'm training and hurt my neck. Wow. And so now I'm, they're giving me pain pills for that. And, I'm having to get a doctor's note to write to the, because if I show up to the combine and I'm, have opiates in my system, they're doing urine tests and the whole nine, and miss my flight going to the combine out of Denver, Colorado, because, I thought it was more important to stop and get a breakfast sandwich, and didn't realize that the gate was all the way down to the end.
Oh, shoot.
So instead of getting there on time, I got there at midnight and missed the whole first day of the combine. And it's just hurdles and things I've had to overcome, and trying to maintain my, my mental health. It's been something that, as I obviously have realized now of what a challenge it was over my career, and things that I had to overcome, and, the breakdowns and the, just the anxiety and the thing, that's such a cliche word right now, but it was just kind of overwhelming at times when things kind of hit you in a big wave of, man, there's a lot of stuff, kind of hurdles coming at you, right? And trying to figure out how to overcome it, try to, jump over it and maintain your performance and your ability to, put your best foot forward. And I think that's what a lot of things that what people are trying to do right now, is after coming out of COVID and dealing with life and dealing with everything we've got to deal with as a society in the last couple of years has been pretty difficult. And there's a lot of people that are suffering in silence, and a lot of people that are trying to overcome those obstacles still, with health, with family, with jobs, with there's just a lot of things that just the regular day-to-day people, like I found out, after my career was done, that, life doesn't get easy. Life doesn't just start going smooth because, you've come through hard things already. They just keep coming, and you got to figure out how to, lean on people that care about you and that you can trust, and that, you can be vulnerable with, and not suffering in silence. And I guess that's kind of been, my message. And as I've shared on social media, my path and the things that I've struggled with recently, and just allowing people to kind of see that we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have stuff that we've dealt with. We all have stuff that we're struggling with right now. And, we don't have to suffer in silence. We can be open about it with people that we can trust, and be open about it. Maybe sometimes, when, I just chose to, just to be vulnerable about it on social media, just because I knew if I could do it, and if I could just, share my dark side, that it would allow other people to say, no, maybe if he could do it, then why can't I, just be open about it and share some of the, the dumb things I've done, that I'm sitting on, that I'm stewing over, that are beating me up inside, that maybe don't allow them to be their best self. And, I've, over my career and over my lifetime, I've definitely made my share of mistakes and done some dumb things, but, been very blessed to have an amazing family and wife that have supported me and loved me through it. And, I'm here today. And, you know, I'm grateful that you guys have given me the opportunity to come on and share that. I guess kind of averted from my story there, but, you know, I don't know if I just want to make sure that that's, you know, that I shared that in my message and my purpose. But I continued on and went to the NFL when I got drafted by the Raiders, went out to Oakland, lived there and trained there with the team after the year after they had lost the Super Bowl to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2000. They'd lost in 2003. And then I was drafted in April that year. Dream come true, you know. Bo Jackson was my favorite athlete growing up.
Love
you know,
Bo.
just, you know what I mean? Like, loved everything he did and read all his books and, you know, what Vincent Jackson did and you know, from his humble beginnings and what he overcame and the things that he struggled with. And, you know, was able to be there in Oakland and be there with Jerry Rice and Tim Brown, Rich Gannon, you know, all these, you know, Lincoln Kennedy was the right tackle at the time, and just monumental and you know, Hall of Fame players that I got to be around and got caught up. I was the young guy. I came in, they all wanted to go to the bar and they all wanted to, you know, go hang out through training camp, but they had already paid their time. They had already paid their dues. They had already done the hard things. They had already learned the playbook. And I hadn't. And so I was playing catch up the whole time and you know, ended up getting released. I was the last player released before they made the 65-man roster. And, you know, struggled with that. And I had to go back home, my hometown in Roseville, where everybody expected me to be. You know, I was supposed to be the hometown boy and everybody was planning on getting season tickets and going and watching me play. And you know, now I had to figure out who I am, right? Because now I had defined myself by the football player, without having helmets and pads and cleats on. Who was I? And that took some adjusting. It took some time. Really struggled with that. Ended up moving to Southern California and training with Jackie Slater, and a Hall of Fame tackle from the Rams. And at the same time, walked into a nightclub, and the guy came and approached me and said, "Hey, you got a job?" And I said, "No, not right now." And he said, "You want to be Dennis Rodman's bodyguard?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" So that went the next 6 months of you know, just turmoil and chaos and, you know, whatever you would imagine being around Dennis Rodman for, you know, a couple hours a day. That's what it was. It was pure chaos. And, you know, ensuing that just kind of went deeper into my, you know, my sickness and my chaos in between my ears, and got a chance to go try out for the Chiefs. Worked out for the Chiefs. Went in there and worked out and thought I, you know, had hit a home run, and then went out to Kansas City and they said, "Yeah, it's not going to work out." So they sent me packing, came back to Utah, worked out here for a little bit, started playing arena ball. Played arena ball here locally with the Warriors, and then went out to San Diego, California to reunite with Kevin Federick, my quarterback from BYU, and played arena ball with him for a little bit until I broke my ankle. And I broke my ankle out there, got rolled up, and, you know, then, you know, just one more hurdle. And, you know, just came back. And again, you know, now it was, you know, I was just trying to hold on to that last thread of that career life, that football player. And, you know, now it was, okay, I gotta get a job. I spent all my football money from the Raiders, you know, was now understood I needed to get a 9-to-5, you know, whatever that looked like. And so I went to a call center, worked in a call center for a little bit, you know, didn't surround myself with, you know, high-end individuals, and, you know, just kept looping myself into bad behaviors and bad decisions. And then, you know, the Lord let me help me find my wife, and ran into my wife where she was working at Chili's and American Fork here, and I was having lunch with a buddy of mine and just ended up, chatting with her and hitting it off. And the rest is history. We got married in 2006. She already had a son, Liam, who was 1.5 at the time. And then a year later, we had Dane in 2007. 2010, we had Jeline. Now I have, a 19, a 14, and a 12-year-old. So my career has taken a lot of dips and turns. I've been involved in the direct sales marketing industry, for a myriad of different jobs, of security to product management to events and recognition to sales. And just really enjoy relationships, really enjoy connecting with people and seeing them dream big and seeing them, see more in themselves than, maybe what they could imagine, right? Just dreaming big and seeing that potential, with direct sales. And it's a fun industry. And recently I've been able to get involved, my wife and I, with a company called Amare, the mental health company. And, it's just kind of the way it's all just kind of come to fruition has been very magical and intentional. It seems, the way that it's been kind of guided into our life, and the products are amazing, and it's been a blessing to our house and our relationships. And that's where we're at today is we're sharing the message of Amare and mental health. And, like I said before, I'm looking for a new job to make sure that I have, insurance to cover my diabetes, and make sure if my kids get hurt and in sports and whatnot, that we're covered there too. So, just challenges and overcoming, right? And you just got to get up, dust yourself off, and find a way. So that's what we're doing.
Dustin, thank you for opening up and sharing all of those tough things that you've gone through. As I was listening to that, I kept thinking, all of these things, you have to be mentally tough to get through those. You shared that you're really opening up on social media. For the listeners who are hearing this, if they feel like they can't open up on social media quite yet, is there something else that you could maybe share with us of another way that you found outside of social media to really help with being mentally strong?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of groups. There's obviously, there's religious groups, whatever religious group you belong to or believe in. There's sometimes family, but sometimes you can't. Some people have a hard time trusting family, right? Going to family, then it means that if I share it with you, it could end up on, in the ears of many others. So I would recommend, finding that friend, that confidant, that person who you feel that you can be vulnerable with. And that's something that, a lot of these people have to choose, but I invite you to reach out to me. I enjoy helping people. That's kind of my passion. I'm looking into becoming a life coach and helping people and allowing, the things that I've been through, the challenges that I've had to then be able to reflect that and help others through some of those dark times. I've just recently listened to the book by Jay Glazer, Unbreakable, that's, in the gray. And sometimes you get in the gray and you just don't know, you don't know how, to break out, but you got to surround yourself with people that have been through it and understand you and get you. And, sometimes that's hard to find. So I encourage you, reach out to you guys. I know you guys have some devout followers and people that really enjoy your message. And I've been, really enjoyed listening to some of your previous podcasts and the people that you've had on. And, I think that's the key, is finding that person who you can trust, finding that person who you feel you can be yourself with and be vulnerable with and be able to share the things that, are holding you back. Because that's a lot what it comes down to, I feel, is a lot of things that hold you back from who you want to become, because you have that gray, you have those things that are hanging over your head that are not allowing you to be your best self, not allowing you to accomplish the things you want. Because every time you start having success, you're between your ears starts pointing to you, says you're not worthy of it, you're not able to, you're not enough, right? But when you have people in your corner, when you have that, that group of people that say you are enough, you are worthy, you are capable, and just, have the ability to be yourself. And sometimes that's hard, and I get it. And, I encourage you to reach out to, like I said, you guys or myself, and find a way to free yourself of what's holding you back to being your best self.
I love that. And as you were talking and you were saying all of these hurdles that you've had to overcome, and, it seemed like it was a constant battle, and it kept driving you deeper into, that mental health state that you didn't really want to be in. Did you find it more difficult as those challenges were coming your way? And how did you kind of try to continue to move forward, even though you felt like you were kind of continually slipping, deeper into that gray area or into a dark area?
It definitely didn't make things easier, right? When you're trying to do things and use things to escape from your current issues, your current problems, you're just compacting it by, adding substances and, pornography and all the things that you want to use as an escape, that you feel like you're numbing the pain, you're numbing the obstacle and the issues that you're going through at the time. You're only condensing it and making it worse by not, and it's painful, right? It's hard to face those things head on and to accept them for what they are, and then trying to find a way to overcome it, trying to find a way to get through it. It's hard. But by dipping into the gray and dipping into the darkness, you just compound those issues and make it worse than what it needs to be.
I think you said something that really hit me, that we have to first accept that we're sort of in this funk or whatever we're in. I think sometimes we don't want to accept that. And once we accept that, that's when we can start to improve ourselves. And really, that acceptance goes a long way to that start of that.
Right. And in my time, I was able to go to Wasatch Recovery and learn from a very wise man, Todd Sylvester, that also has a very popular podcast. But he, taught me, some amazing thing of, honesty, accountability, integrity, and then help someone. If you can live by those four things, you can find a way to be pretty happy. But you got to be able to be honest with yourself, not just honest with the people in your life, not just honest with the things you do, but honestly, when you look in the mirror, you say, am I doing the things that I know are right? Am I doing the things that I know that I'm capable of? And then, do you have integrity? Are you doing things that you're supposed to and nobody's looking? Right. And then who are you accountable to? Are you accountable to somebody by your behaviors, by your actions, by your deeds? That, there's an accountability piece that you kind of, not like a report card, but, kind of in a sense that, that somebody else is kind of keeping track and you're accountable to that person. But then are you finding a way to help somebody? And when you lose yourself and helping somebody, serving people, it really does allow yourself to kind of get outside these two, inside your two ears and really see things from a different perspective and from a broader standpoint of, hey, this thing isn't all about me. This thing, when you make it not all about you, and you allow yourself to serve others and be with others and see others and meet other people where they're at and find a way to help them, it definitely does lighten the load, I think, for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That I like those four things, honesty, integrity, helping others. I mean, that's really the root of what Shane and I's message is really finding your worth and then pushing it out there into the world. So I'm grateful that you brought those four things up and hope that people can use those in their life. So you talked a little bit about what you're doing now, this MRA, supplements and stuff like that. Do you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah. So, it was something that, like I was looking into the company, and the owner, the founder of the company was also in recovery and found himself as a very successful businessman, but had allowed his mental health and his decision to slip. And he was in the midst of an addiction behavior, and went back to ancient Chinese methodology and medicine, and really figured out, your gut is your second brain. Your gut to brain axis, where your gut is able to communicate with your brain, allows yourself to release those endorphins, those good feelings. They're all harbored in your gut, not in your brain, where we've realized, and they've created some amazing products, that the metabiotics, and they have a myriad of different products, energy, the edge. They're all great flavors, great products to help with that gut to brain axis. And they have the right microbiome in the products to help, balance your gut. And that was one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize. When you're out of balance in your gut, it affects everything, right? It affects your mood, affects your sleep, affects your ability to balance stress, right? And that's where it's been really beneficial to me and to my family, is especially my wife. She carries a major load at work, and she's had to kind of take on the business side of things, because I've been in a non-compete with the last company I was with. It was a competitive company to Amari, and it's just the stress resilience, right? Where you have all these things that you normally would make your stomach upset, and more, you would not be able to handle on a day-to-day basis, but we're able to balance it and stay focused on the things at hand, and not become overwhelmed. Where in the past, I think a lot of time we would, my wife and I both would become overwhelmed and slip into those bad behaviors, where this has allowed us to stay focused, stay balanced, and, continue to move forward, which, we've had our fair share of challenges in the last couple of months, to say the least.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because I think often the perception of mental health is only in your mind,
right?
But the connection is absolutely with all of us, with our body, our spirit, our gut. Everything really links to that mental health. So if all of that is right, then your mental health is going to be more healthy in that regard. So near the end of the podcast, we have what we call the double down dose. So Jason's going to ask the first question, then I'll ask the second question.
Let's do it.
So the first question of the double down dose is, what is your definition of hope, or how would you define hope?
That is a good question. My definition of hope is, in the midst of challenges, in the midst of hurdles, that that if I continue to do the things, like I said, those four things, of honesty, integrity, accountability, and helping people, that if I continue to do those things and wake up with purpose, that days are going to get better, and days are going to get brighter, and my ability to overcome brings me hope, right? And then sometimes it's not this big, overnight thing. It's brick by brick, and it's overcoming the small issues first, and then they kind of, they stack up and start working out, as long as I'm doing things, the right way with integrity. That's it. Just, I guess the whole thing of karma, right? If you're doing things, you're putting good vibes and good things out in the world, eventually it's going to come back to you. And, and that's where I feel hope, in doing those kind of behaviors and doing those kind of things, is sharing my light, sharing, my energy, and sharing my hope with other people, that, and soon that good karma will come back and allow me to start, keep winning and, keep putting the one foot in front of the other, even in the darkest times.
Love this discussion. Really grateful that you're willing to open your life up and really be that vulnerable side and help spread the love that you have. So the second part of Double Down Dose is, how would you define love?
Well, I guess, in while I was in treatment and I was in the darkest of times, and I was surrounded by other people that were going through some really hard times as well, I felt incredibly blessed and fortunate to know that I had love. I know that my wife showed up for me. My kids showed up for me. They answered the phone. They showed up to family night, and drove up there 45 minutes to be there, and drove up there on Sundays to come have, our family day and our time. And a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that unconditional love from family, from loved ones, in what I found, it's showing up. It's showing up for those people when they're down, and they're down and they're struggling. The people show up, and you show up for them, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a text message, whether it's a video chat, whether it's knocking on the door and bringing some flowers, or knocking on the door and bringing in their favorite drink, soda drink, or or sharing, like with mine, sharing. Amari means love. Amari means love in Latin. And when you are able to share the gift of mental health, I feel that that's something that has been such a blessing for us to see as we've shared Amari with other people, that seeing them kind of make that pivot, make that turn, like, wow, I feel a lot better. And, I'm able to be cognitive and present when usually I'm not. I'm foggy. I got brain fog. I've got, stomach issues. I've got all these other things. It's been remarkable to show that love to other people, but also just to show up and show people that you care, and have other people show up for you in those times of need.
Yeah, Dustin, really thanks for
awesome.
when you shared that about your family. I really felt that love that you have for them, talking about your wife and your kids showing up for you. I really felt that. So thanks for opening up. This has been just a great discussion with you. Thanks for your time and for joining us and being part of our family.
Absolutely. Thanks for letting me share my message. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dustin, for coming on. And how do people get a hold of you if they want to get in touch with you?
Yeah. Look me up on Facebook, Dustin Rykert. I think my name's right there in the corner there. You can look me up there. I'm on Instagram, drykert79. That's my old football number. And I think I'm on Twitter as well, drykert79. I'm not real active on there, but I do. If anybody needs some help with some offensive line, if they got a son or anybody looking for some offensive line skills, I'm also doing some of that on the side, and looking to run a little camp here in the summer, and getting some big boys out there and moving their feet and making sure their body's in balance and putting themselves in the right position. So. And like I said, I'm willing. I love to help, love to chat, and love to share, my experiences with others to help them maybe crawl out of that gray.
Awesome. Thank you, Dustin.
You got it.